So we talked about the components in our previous lesson, and we said components are basically JavaScript functions that return HTML, and you can use components to create user interface or the pages. So you could have a component to represent a page, or you can have a component to represent a section of the page, such as a navigation bar, the sidebar, the footer, or even the main body of the page or the whole page. And we said we had two types of components, which is the class and the function components. So in this we are focusing on function components, and we demonstrated how to create a simple React component and how to display or how to render that component in the browser. And this is what we created yesterday. So we are going to build on this concept today and in the next coming lessons, so that we are able to create even more components and create multiple pages, so that you are able to click around the pages and jump from one page to another. And in our today's class, I want to introduce a new concept called the React props. And what are props? Props are the short form of saying properties. Okay, is a short form of saying properties. So props are the arguments that are passed into a React function component. Alright, so yesterday we did a React function component, and we said a function component can be declared in this manner, where you have the function keyword, the function name, and then the parentheses, and then we have the curly brackets in between where we return some HTML code. We can as well provide some parameters or arguments in this function, so that the function can be able to use them. So that argument is what we are calling in the props. Alright, so let us demonstrate in Visual Studio how to create a function component with some props. Alright, so I'm going to go to my Visual Studio in the same project that we did yesterday, and I'm gonna close these tabs that I had created, and also this I'm going to close it. And here we have a navigation bar. Alright, we have a navigation bar, and in this navigation bar you can see it is a function component, because we are defining a function called navbar. For now the parentheses are empty because we are not passing any properties. And now let us say we want to pass a property, some properties or some values or some arguments to this function called navbar. So we can pass it by just passing any variable. We can call it props, and then we can, when we are calling this function navbar, you can see where we are calling it. We are using it because we are declaring it, and then we are exporting it here. Then we are using it in the home page. We are using it in the home page, where we are importing it on this line, and then we are displaying it above the home page here. Alright, so if we have passed some properties to it, then how do we access the properties which have been passed to this component? So here we have passed the properties. It takes up a value or an argument, props, called props, and then here let us, when we are calling it, we pass it the actual values. So we are going to say the way we pass properties is by using, so we have a component name which we call it, and then we have the property equals to some value here. So I'm going to say maybe um, link 1, okay, is equals to some value, for example conduct us, comma, then link 2 is going to be uh, maybe we can say how can we call link 2? Let me go back to the navigation. We call it about us, call link 2 about us. All right, and then so we have here an equal sign, and then here we're saying then here we are having, let's just pass it here. It is giving an error. Let me put identifier expected, and this one here unexpected token or get. Okay, let me delete this. JSX expression must have one parent, and let me look at the syntax. I think the syntax is okay. We have component name, and then the property 1 equals to this, property 2 is equals to this, property 3 and property 4. Then I think this is okay. Is it giving us an error? And let's see if it gives us the correct. Unexpected, did you mean this? Alright, so let me use the curly brackets instead of okay, and then here also I'm gonna use. Alright, so when it gets an error like this, you just put your mouse over this to see what the error is, and when you put the mouse over that error, you can see it gives you identifier expected, and when it says identifier expected, you can just troubleshoot this error using any of the AI in case you don't know the exact cause of the error. So we can get to troubleshoot this and see where the error is. Let us try to use GPT troubleshooting. You can see we have the correct syntax. Delete this and put quotation marks. Identify expected.
It's like mbona kama inakataa hiyo comma.
Hey, inakata, it does not accept this comma here. Okay, let me get this line of code with the error, and then let's get where the problem is with this syntax. Navbar link 1, link 2 without a comma. Link 2. Yep, so we have it here. So you can see you can actually use some AI tools to enhance errors and correcting the errors. So you can see in this app component, in this navbar component, we are passing two parameters or two properties, link 1 which is equal to contact us, and then link 2 which is equivalent to about us. And now when you save these changes, when you come back now in the navbar, you can access the properties which have been passed. So here we are accessing it, and how do we access it? We can access it at any point here. Instead of typing about us manually, we can access the one that is provided in the props. So we can say props dot and then the property name. So the property name here is link 1. So when we refer to link 1 here, then we are accessing the value contact us. Again, we can come, instead of writing the contact us here, we can use the property dot link 2, and the value of link 2 which we've provided here is about us. So then when you save these changes, and let me access them using the angle brackets, the curly brackets. So when this saved, and let me run the React app again, and for you to be able to run it, you must make sure that we are within the project folder. So we do npm start. Before that, we need to change directory, so we do cd, we move to block app, then we do npm start, so it will take some seconds to start the live server. And now when the live server opens, you can see that we have the values contact us and about us provided up here. So even though we have not typed them manually here, but through the props which have been passed to this component, we are able to access the values through the properties. So anytime you call the navbar like the way we are calling it here, you must provide some of the properties. All right, so that is what we mean by the React properties. It is just passing some arguments to a function where the function can be able to access them and use them whenever the function is called. So unless you have any question about props, you can ask before we go to the next concept. In the meantime, excuse me while I pick this call. Hey John, niambie. Ah, niko poa. Mm, mm. Sawa, wacha niulize kijana wangu, alafu akisema kuna pesa ngapi, alafu nikuambie. Nitakuambia by 9. Sawa.